And we are live. Hey, Internet friend, this is MagicBrad, and we've got another Synergy Cafe online. We're going to talk about marketing and marketing in general, of what's working and what's not. And I've got two people, one from the Midwest and one from the UK. And let's go with the UK first. Patrick, are you there?
Yes, I am, Brad. Thanks very much.
This is Patrick Headey. He's from UK, and I connected with him via Skype. And also we've got Vidal, and I think his last name is pronounced Cisneros. Vidal, are you there?
Yes, I am, and it's actually pronounced Cisneros, but that's okay. I get often confused with Sassoon, so I'll take Sassoon or Cisneros, either one.
Cisneros, and he's from the Midwest and Wisconsin, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, the Wisconsin people got they sell us the 2% milk, and they keep the 98% milk for themselves.
The word is out, Brad.
Okay. So we're just going to randomly talk about what's working, what's not in internet marketing, and marketing in general. And to me, there's three components to marketing, and it's generating the lead, which is lead generation, and then relationship management, and then sales. That's the three elements of everything. So let's just talk about lead generation, and we'll start again. Patrick, you want to throw something out about what are some of your thoughts on lead generation?
Well, I think, we've been around this many times, but when it comes to lead generation, I think the key word that everyone's beginning to understand is about relationships, and whichever traffic source you're using, at the end of the day, it's about building a relationship before someone can see what your offer is, or to being responsive to your offer, I should put it.
And Vidal, are you in agreement with that? Relationships?
Absolutely. It comes down to the number one thing, just build relationships and start to create that bond, because in the funnel, you can't just go out and just mass pitch blast everybody. I mean, that's not working anymore. It's just repelling so many people. So I absolutely agree with Patrick, 100%.
Yeah, I think that's very key, because the reality is, if someone's got, say, a soda or a beer that they're selling, anybody could buy it. So, and you could buy any beer, any soda. Or for internet marketing, there might be some kind of opportunity, and anybody can buy that opportunity. So it really boils down to the unique individual, the relationship. That's because you want them to buy it from you. You don't want them to buy it from anybody. So I think relationships are key, and I think video like this is the closest thing to being live and in person, where you can actually know, like, and trust someone. So we're in agreement on the relationship piece of it. So let's even talk about that. Unless you got more input on how to generate leads. A lot of these capture pages and stuff just aren't working anymore, because they're so, this is such a large industry. They all use that same capture page of that girl looking off to the right, So I think a lot of it is creating a unique capture page that people don't feel it's so generic and cookie cutter.
Well, there is a lot of thoughts onto that. I mean, I subscribe to lead pages, and they put out quite a good bit of marketing info. And what I'm beginning to detect is that the shift is, rather than being out there in your face with a capture page, is to be more subtle with your capture pages. So traditionally, you had the big arrows pointing to, opt-in here, etc. But they're saying to make it more subtly, and sometimes don't even have the capture page on your landing page, but have it embedded within your blog, or have the JavaScript pop out, so when they click it, it pops out, so they don't immediately come there and say, oh, all they want is my details. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but that's some of the feedback I'm getting from the marketers who are traditionally doing quite well.
I know that a lot of people use like fake email addresses, or ones they don't use often, just to get the information to find out if it's a legitimate experience, which, coming from a marketer, knowing the inside of it, that can really screw up a system when you put in an email address that isn't even really a good one, that they're not going to be using, because then they really sign up with a different email address, which now the tracking is all screwed up. So What are your thoughts on emails? I know that some people are using phone numbers or cell phone numbers now for tracking, where you actually got to enter your phone number because people feel that you don't throw out your phone every day, but email addresses are a dime a dozen.
Yeah, to be honest, I feel that if you're giving away a lot of value and creating like a continuity program or a micro continuity program, if you guys are familiar with that, a la Russell Brunson, that's his coined term. When you come down the line, so to speak, like that funnel, and you're giving away all this free stuff, whether it's a free ebook, whether it's just free training, via YouTube, they're going to be more willing to opt in after they get to know you. So for me, I absolutely love video marketing. Like, I love video. I know people connect very well. They say that right now it's 60,000 times faster to connect with somebody via video than the standard text. So just think about that. It's 60,000 times faster, like, to just digest everything visually via video than the standard traditional text.
I get it. So you're kind of saying even before the lead is captured, even before the lead generation process, the video is creating a relationship so the person feels comfortable opting in their email address and giving up that valuable email before they even get into the funnel.
Absolutely. I've seen research and studies that have said that you have to connect with somebody at least 10 to 14 times, and that number kind of keeps going up because we live in such an ADD culture that if you're not everywhere, it's going to be hard for them to lock in. So the better your content is, and the more consistent you are with your content, and the farther your reach is, there's no doubt you're going to be getting a lot of email opt-ins. There's no doubt about that.
So it really is about, I love video. I do videos with my iPhone walking down the street and just throwing them out on Facebook, and people do say they like them. They're kind of fun and stuff. And then when you start adding some actual content like we're doing now that's valuable for building their business, they appreciate it even more. And I think it even synergistically grows more now because we got 3 people here that, if they know any one of us, they probably might kind of trust the other because we're sort of a little club here. Agree with that?
Absolutely. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Now, Patrick, you got a different situation over there, I know, because a friend of mine used to do trade shows over in the UK, and there's manners and things over there where people won't do certain things. So it's even a little bit more of a challenge over in the UK, I think, or Europe even, where people are a little more hesitant to jump right into anything. Is that true?
Well, the culture is different, and you kind of pick that up, being on this side of the pond, as you say, and doing most of my business on the other side, you kind of pick up the differences. Yeah, I would say a little bit more reserved, for instance, what I was discussing just the other day. Whereas in the US, we would clap and applaud someone who's success, and we're not, and the culture there is not, someone telling you how much they earn or showing you their check online. It's looked up as something which is done, Whereas in the UK, that would be they'd be more reserved in that aspect of it, and because internet marketing and a lot of certainly the the affiliate marketing and the money making niches are that way inclined, it doesn't resonate the same over this side of the pond, and kind of the marketer got to understand who you're speaking to and where they're coming from.
Yeah, so you even had to really be careful about who you're targeting your market to, because your message could be totally misinterpreted if it's going to a different country or whatever.
Yeah, the same language I would use in the US market, it wouldn't be ideal. You'd have to tailor it to your audience, and I wouldn't use that same language to the UK market.
You can't be as crazy and boisterous over there. You have to. Because you guys got a queen and all that kind of stuff. You got to be respectful to. We have a president.
Yeah. Yes, you pick up on these things, you know, probably it would be something that you would never recognize if I, lived purely in the United States. But being on this side of the world, you do pick up on these things, and it's a bit cultural.
Absolutely. I'm not sure if have you guys heard of that story about how they marketed the Chevy Nova in Mexico? You ever hear that story, Vidal?
Sounds interesting. Let me hear.
Well, the word Nova in Spanish, do you know what that means?
Yes, I believe it means like a part of the story or like something.
No, I believe my wife would know for sure because she teaches Spanish or taught Spanish.
Okay.
It means not go. It does not go.
Oh wow.
Nova.
Okay.
Or no go or something like that. So can you imagine marketing a car in Mexico called the Chevy Nova?
Okay. Now
I'm
I know
not sure if that's even a true story or whatever, but
okay, I see.
but you have to know the words. Like in Japan, I understand that you have to be very respectful with a person's business card. You can't just grab the card and start cleaning your fingernails with it. It's very disrespectful. You have to hold the card up and look at it, and you have to be very respectful with the card. So I'm sure the same thing applies for this online marketing thing, depending on what market you are tapping into.
Yes. Actually, you got my wheels turning, but now I get it. I see. I'm more of a like a research kind of guy, so I was thinking of the word nova, trying to translate it into the Spanish word. But yeah, the actual, if you split it up into two words, nova, yeah, it does mean don't, it doesn't go. So yes, you had me stumped for a second, but I figured it out.
Sure. So, and I heard that story. I think it was a marketing story, and kind of fascinated me because they probably put a lot of money into that, but they didn't do their research.
That is hilarious.
So you want to throw something else out? Let's see. We talked about lead generation. Let's talk about like sales. When you get to the end and someone's actually interested in making a purchase, now they got to take out that credit card, and that's the scary part. I think a lot of people turn and run the other way when that situation happens. You got any thoughts on that to make sure that people are feeling safe and secure when they're spending their hard-earned dollars with your product, service, or cause?
Yeah, absolutely. But before I touch on that, I kind of wanted to digress a bit and go back on what Patrick was talking about, just to kind of expand a little bit more on my thoughts with the culture and the different demographics in different countries, if that's okay, Brad.
Sure, absolutely.
I see more so the UK. There's just this culture of such high class etiquette, and honestly, I think that translates very well with the professional class. So if you were to market on LinkedIn, you're gonna have like just I would say a better conversion rate, just based on the professional networking culture that's already in place there. And honestly, I think people from the UK make more money here in the US because they can charge more based on there's much more articulation in their verbiage. They're much more well defined and refined, and there's kind of like that mystery, and we see them in a different light. So there's kind of like this misnomer, if you know what I mean, Brad, about just some of those intricacies of the culture, the differences in culture.
Absolutely. In fact, I mentioned that to Patrick a while ago, that he has a little bit of an advantage and probably doesn't notice it, but because of his accent, he's perceived much differently over here. That's why all the infomercials are always using those people with the English accents on the infomercials on TV.
Yeah. Well, unless you're actually lived in the US, you can't see it from that perspective. You just know what you know, and that's it. But certainly pick up on what you say there, and there is some, what Vidal says. There is definitely an element of being more, to find the right word, more detailed in your presentation, or the right word to use would be
sophisticated,
well,
refined.
Yeah, you could use sophisticated, refined. I was looking for another word to sum it up, really, but certainly more rounded in the way you present. And certainly, I do agree that um, LinkedIn platform is a platform that kind of leans itself to that niche in marketing.
Yeah, it's definitely a different audience, and the platform works a lot different than good old Facebook. It's kind of crazy. So then let's talk about the sales end of things. I know that in those situations, that's always one of the hardest things to do is ask for the money. To me, it's because money is a byproduct of work, and that's your energy that you put out, and money ends up being a very sensitive personal issue. You just don't walk up to somebody and say, how much money do you got in your pocket, or how much money do you got in your bank? So money is a weird thing, and that's kind of tough now to be able to say, could you get out your credit card? And any thoughts on how to do that, both on and offline, for that technique?
Is this to Patrick or to myself?
Well, let's do to Patrick, because it's probably totally different over there with the pound, because there's even a conversion rate there that might shift some people up. So Patrick, what are your thoughts on the sales part, or asking for the money, or asking for the close, as they say?
Yeah, that's a very good question, really. I guess it's a matter of really playing on the value what someone's getting, if you really want them to part with their money. Because I mean, that is the crunch point, isn't it? When someone has got to take out that card and give it to you. I mean, it depends on and Vidal touched on that earlier on the value you give before, so that process becomes almost an automatic. By the time they get to the point where they need to pay, they've already made up their mind that this is what I'm going to do based upon the value.
Right. Frank Kern talks about that, the magic bullet kind of situation, where the product is so valuable that they want to buy it, and they're just ready to buy it. And then it's just a matter of the respect part. Do they actually trust and respect the person they're purchasing it from? Yeah. So that's a good point. It's about making the value really, really valuable.
And then well, definitely those two components of relationship and value, which is basically what we touched on, I think are the key components in getting someone to, buy your offer, really.
So Vidal, what are your thoughts on closing the sale? You still there, Vidal?
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I had to unmute myself. Yeah, absolutely, I agree 100%. I love the question. I absolutely love this question because, like you said, Frank Kern, there's definitely a formula to taking people down step by step by step, the sales funnel process. So yes, I absolutely agree. I mean, one great example that I'm currently using right now is creating an ebook for people within the video marketing space. So when they see that you take the time and effort to create something to solve their problem, to fill a need, and then you also add in the social proof, the authority positioning, and that's all relevant, honestly. The positioning and the authority, credibility, honestly, it's really all relative to maximizing and leveraging all the assets that you already have. And I think we undervalue our assets, and we undervalue giving stuff away that is going to solve a problem for people. So I absolutely agree with Patrick as well. You need to give stuff away. We've been saying that pretty much, so far in this hangout. And I just want to say that I love this because a lot of marketers online miss the boat, and they just want to go right to the sale. And you have to think that it's a process. If people love your stuff, if they see you're absolutely credible, you have integrity, you're consistent, there's no doubt that the sale is going to be like, they're going to be asking you, well, what is it that you're selling? When you reverse that, that's absolutely beautiful. I just, that's kind of where I'm at. I want to reverse it, and I want them to ask me, what is that you can offer me? What else can you give me? And it happens when you give so much value away.
Yeah, it's almost, I use the nature analogy of plant the seed, nurture the plant, then harvest the fruit. And really, you don't even have to harvest the fruit because it gets so ripe it just falls off the vine, so to speak, because that person is, they're ready to make the sale, and they're just exchanging the money for the product. And it can happen. You said something about consistency, and a thing that came into my head was someone got me into one of these systems, and I started getting these emails, and then all of a sudden I was getting the same message, and it was meant for them, but it was coming from someone else somehow. So the system, it changed up, and it wasn't consistent and congruent, and right away, a red flag goes up for me. So I think that's important, is when you get someone in and you got a certain vibe to your brand and you're walking through the whole thing, it's got to be consistent all the way through the lead generation to the relationship to when you close the sale. It's got to be a through line all the way through. It looks like my picture just disappeared here.
Yes, anyways. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with you. Just want to say that. Absolutely.
Okay, well, it's about 10:23 now, and we've been on for about a half an hour. I don't like to keep these things too long, where it wraps people up too long, but this is blocked out for an hour if we wanted to. But let's just open up to some ending questions, and then we'll close it off and get it out to the internet so the viewers can see it online. So, Patrick, you got any closing statements on the topic of marketing?
Obviously, stay consistent, stay true to your values, and basically practice the things we've been talking about: offer value, consistency, and be as genuine as you possibly can.
And Vidal, you got anything to throw in on that?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, I want to give some value. I mean, since we're talking about all this free value, I want to give you guys some value today, because I know as fellow marketers and fellow online entrepreneurs, we get lost sometimes in the minutia of, just the daily tasks, and we lose sight of what really matters to us. So I want to give you guys just some quick, simple, actionable tasks or steps that you can take to be more productive on a daily basis. So step number 1, wake up 1 hour before you actually have to go in front of the computer and just sit down in front of your laptop. And then after you take this hour, you block out this hour, make sure that you get something in you that is maybe very organic, or something that's going to fill your health, build your vitality. And then number 2, grab a journal and start writing everything that's on your mind that is weighing you down, that if you get these actionable steps done, your day is going to be satisfied. So if you get one of these actionable steps done, your day is going to be satisfied. There's something about putting stuff on paper, making it just real, right? Making it just material. So the next step is, now that you figured out that, hey, if I complete this task and I know my day will be satisfied, focus on one of those tasks, because productivity is so huge. There's so much resistance to being productive online. I mean, every day we're all battling this. So this is why I want to give you guys this value. So ask those questions, empowering questions. You're going to be able to complete those tasks that actually satisfy you. So I just wanted to give those little tips out, and just make sure that you block out 2 to 3 hours a day to complete one of those tasks that is going to satisfy your day.
Okay, that's very, very powerful. Thank you. I appreciate that, because that's something we didn't even talk about, is mindset kind of stuff, and getting yourself focused on your day, whether it be marketing or whatever you might be doing. But that's I appreciate that. That's good. We were just talking about adding value, and Vidal added value. That's good. That's my wife does a lot of journaling. I have a hard time with journaling, but you're right. There is something very powerful about putting your thoughts onto physical paper and having and being focused on something like that. And you get those things checked off, and your day's almost done that way. It goes very, very fast. There was somebody was talking about, you block your time out. You work for 90 minutes, and then you take 20 minutes off, and you work for 90 minutes and take 20 minutes off, instead of slaving through the whole day and working for 10 hours. It can burn you out, and you end up getting the shiny object syndrome and getting off everywhere, and nothing really happens. So I wanted to throw out one thing, too, on the whole topic of marketing, and I think a lot of people forget that what marketing is finding your market. finding the niche that you're actually going to be marketing to. Someone had talked about their product was skin cream, so they decided that their market is anybody with skin. But that's way too vague of a market. So the idea for marketing in general is to target a specific market of, say, I want to target women between the ages of 25 and 30 that have children and they live in Asheville. Now you've got a very specific market to tap into, and it's a lot easier to reach that market rather than trying to reach everybody on the planet. So that's my little tidbit. And that's about it. We're at 10:30, so I'm going to close this off if that's okay with you guys. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I am.
You concur, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm fine, Brad. I'm absolutely fine. Yeah.
Vidal, you good with the signing off?
Absolutely. I'm just humbled and honored that I got to be on here with Patrick and Brad yourself. So I just want to thank you for inviting me on, and I'm definitely grateful for the opportunity. And hopefully you guys out there got value, because I know Brad has a lot of value to give. So definitely get to know Brad. If maybe you're watching this and you don't know who Brad is, I can definitely say that Brad is one of those consistent guys that he's always giving you some value. So get to know Brad if you don't. Just want to vouch for him.
Well, I appreciate that. And we'll be doing others of these and maybe get into something not so vague of marketing and maybe talk specifically about email marketing or video marketing. And we'll do some other of these things down the road. So appreciate everyone out there for watching. And I'm going to propagate this up to some of the internet and blogs and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and Pinterest and all those fun things. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. You guys want to hang out, we'll chat a little bit after, but the broadcast is done. Peace, love, and happiness.